And the prince got down on one knee and asked, "Will you marry me?" What's going on, everybody? Jared here with another spooky movie review. Now, if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because it helps me out so much, and it keeps you guys up to date on this channel's newest content every single week. So I went out to the theater and saw the new Guillermo del Toro screenplay written film, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Terrifying tales soon find a way of becoming all too real for a group of teens who stumble upon a spooky book. So does Scary Stories bring the scary stories? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of this terrifying book to screen adaptation in the comments down below. Now let's get into some of the good. So Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is based on the collection of short stories I think I had read when I was a kid, or rather I remember the art or cover art because it was creepy, terrifying, unsettling. It just, I didn't like it. And the unsettling tone of all of that is very much present in this book to screen adaptation of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Director Andre Overdell set up this terrifying tone that flows throughout the movie from the atmosphere to the creature design, which I'll get into later, but the overall atmosphere and creepy tone is one thing that I thought was the standout in Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I mean, it's not this super terrifying movie. It feels like it's almost a lesser horror film. I'm not trying to knock it at all, but it feels like it's almost a stepping stone into R-rated horror because this is PG-13. I'd probably consider it horror light. I mean, I'm a big weenie, so I still thought it was scary, but for people that are hardcore into horror, you're gonna find it a little on the lesser side of things. But as I mentioned earlier, the creature design and practical effects of Scary Stories was another one of the film's highlights. I mean, they took what was in those short stories, or from what I remember, and brought them into real life, and they were terrifying. I mean, from the pale woman to all of these other things like a scarecrow to the jingly jangle man. I don't think that that's his name, but I'm gonna call him the jingly jangle man. But yeah, the creatures really elevate that creepy, unsettling tone because of the way they look, the way they move, the way that they are just present on the screen. So I appreciated that part of Scary Stories. However, even though Scary Stories had a lot going for it, it failed to entirely draw me into the movie. I felt like it was a mixture of Goosebumps and Final Destination with a few other horror films thrown in there, and that's the problem. The mythology is set up a little bit, but it doesn't go in entirely. I mean, there's exposition and explanation of kind of what's going on, but it felt like it was very much on the thin side of things. And as all of these creepy crawler creatures are going after the victims, I found myself caring less and less about the movie and these characters as the movie progressed. I mean, the thing is that the characters are never fully developed or set up, or the relationships between one another aren't developed enough for me to care of these characters. So when one of them is getting hunted down by some pale woman, I did not entirely care. Like I said, it doesn't take enough time to establish the characters. The opening minute does show all of these characters, but not enough to establish relationships and whatnot. Honestly, on the drive home, I was trying to think of all of the different character names, and the only one I could think of was Stella. And lastly, I'm sure this is a nitpick, and it probably could have been the projector in the theater I went to. It wasn't the best quality, but the coloring, the color palette, the lighting of the movie is very dark. There's a lot of the scenes that I just couldn't tell exactly what was going on. I didn't know what character was on screen. I didn't know what kind of little details were happening in the background. And the thing is, this coloring is a large majority of the movie. I'd say probably 80% at least. So about 80% of the movie, I could not get a good look on what was happening. Again, it could have been my theater that I was going to, a bad projector. But Scary Stories, you can't see what's going on. Overall, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is a book with a fantastic cover, but with bland contents, with an unsettling tone and creepy creature design, but with it failing to lack substance, character investment, and this coloring palette that was tough to see. I would go ahead and wait for rental for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I mean, if you're a horror fan, you might find something in there, you might find something enjoyable, but I walked out feeling unfazed. In closing, I'm gonna give Scary Stories 2.5 out of 5 Scary Stories. So what did you guys think of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there, movie reviews, trailer reactions, fun comedy skits. This weekend, I think dropping early next week, is going to be the very first episode of Movies and Nonsense, an interview/video podcast. Stay tuned for that. Follow all my social media down there. Click that subscribe button because it helps me out. Until next time, I'll see you later.